our next author is Delmar C. Gillette, who has authored Crowdfunding Scenarios Explained: If, How, and When to Tax Money from Crowdfunding, and explains how to determine whether or not someone's crowdfunding venture is taxable. How are you doing today?
I feel nervous.
No, come on in.
No. Everyone here's been talking about inspiration and how to change your life and how to do good things and how to improve. And I'm up here talking about taxes.
Delmar, someone's got to do it, right?
You're right.
Someone's got to do it. So why did you write a book about crowdfunding?
Number one, the IRS has not given any instructions or directions or regulations concerning crowdfunding. It's like a shot in the dark. And I did a presentation on crowdfunding and found out that my audience, which was a group of people who prepared tax returns, didn't know what crowdfunding was. So I've got two things to settle here. Number one, what is crowdfunding? How does it work? And second, is the income from that, are the proceeds from that taxable? And that was my inspiration.
So what are some examples of crowdfunding?
Crowdfunding would be such things as Kickstarter, GoFundMe. Most of us are familiar with those titles. There's probably 300-400 different crowdfunding sites out there. One of the things I found out when we hear crowdfunding, people say, oh, wow, that's brand new. No, it's not. It goes back to Acts chapter 3, verse 2. All right? And it may go back further than that, but that's the only written thing I could find. Another thing that would be interesting is that the pedestal on which the Statue of Liberty stands was created and paid for by crowdfunding. Bet you didn't know that. Another illustration, we won't have the time to give an answer, but this young girl, about 19 years of age, was in a horrific traffic accident. She was medevaced to the nearest trauma center, and while they were trying to find out what was not broken, they found out she had cancer. Well, cancer and a broken body means a lot of money. And so her sister started a crowdfunding site, and they raised about $60,000. That was in 2015. In 2017, she got a letter from the Internal Revenue Service, otherwise known as the IRS. And it said, you owe this money, you owe this penalty, you owe this penalty, you owe this penalty. And I was incensed when I read that. So that's part of my inspiration as well. To give you the punchline on that, the income should not be taxable. It was a gift from lots and lots and lots of people. There are ventures in crowdfunding where the proceeds are taxable. And what we try to do is to define in this book and help you going through, is this taxable or not? I heard some bad things about crowdfunding. And so I wrote this brief book, all right, read it in about 45 minutes, about crowdfunding and some of the things you need to know about and whether or not the proceeds are taxable.
So I'm interested, how did you get interested on the tax side of things for crowdfunding?
I've been doing taxes for over 40 years. You need to understand I don't like math. The other thing you need to understand is that I don't like crowds. But I found out that I have a God-given gift and sort of understanding taxes and be able to explain them to other people so they can understand them also. And so I started out in the financial services business. I had a few tax clients when I was working for a company that I should not name, not because they've done anything wrong, but because that might be a plug. And when I left that company and left public school teaching and went into financial services, I had people call me and said, you need to do my taxes. I said, I can't. I've signed a non-compete. I can't solicit you. And they said, Delmar, I called you. You didn't call me. And from that, we have a group of people that we dearly love that's about 400 people large. And we work with crowdfunding and other wonderful topics, and I just love diving into them.
That's great. And so for our viewers at home, how can they connect with you?
Crowdfundingtaxes.com, And on that site, we have several examples or scenarios, and we put them up there and say, with some questions, what would you do? What do you think? What's happening? And then a little bit later on, you can find out what the answers we believe are. Bear in mind, we don't know because we have no regulations. You know, that's sort of the funny thing. And wait until you see the 2018 tax return.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Delmar.
Thank you so much,
I
Kendra.
appreciate it. Have a good one.